Hello there YouTube, it's Blade here, and I want to show you another video of the 7 Roach Rush, but this time, instead of being against a computer, it's going to be in a player versus player match with me as the Zerg, and this guy here is a red Terran. And basically I wanted to do this because I really love this build, to be honest, and I find showing you this build while playing against a computer really doesn't show you how good it can be in ladder. And I really just want to show you that it's not something that you can just use in lower leagues or just against computers to get easy wins. Like, this really does help you in player versus player. So if you haven't watched my previous video where I did go against AI, I'll go over the build order again for you. Basically what you want to do is a 9 overlord, which you see me getting the 9th drone right now. Once I get 100, I'm going to go for the overlord. There's my 9 overlord. And after that, you want to go into a 12 spawning pool, 15 extractor. Make sure you put 3 drones on the extractor whenever it pops. Then you want to do a 16 queen, 2 overlords, and 1 last drone. And once the queen is at 3/4 of the way building, you're going to want to drop your roach warren. That way, whenever her eggs from the vomits hatch, both them and the roach warren will finish at the same time. As you saw those little red hit markers, that means he's coming to scout me with an SCV. And I'll show you how you can get past scouting while doing this. I always drop my spawning pool on maps like this where you can drop it in the back creep and block off part of this back area, because players typically when they scout, they try to make you go all the way around, like with their SCV, drone, or probe. They want to go all the way around, but dropping it right here will make that SCV come in through here and have to go through this little hole. And typically in platinum and lower leagues, they won't be really controlling the SCV too well. So as you can see here, I got like 5 or 6 drones ready for this, and there I go, I just kill off his SCV. Now all he's seen is that I have an extractor and a spawning pool. While this did slow down a little bit in economy, I find it's well worth it to, just for the fact that he's not going to be able to see my roach warren go down. Because very seldomly will they send a second SCV to start scouting. As you can see now, I got the queen started. And I'm at 1818, going to start doing the 2 overlords. And once the first overlord pops, I'm going to do 1 last drone. And then this is whenever your APM's probably going to drop, because really it's just sitting around waiting for the eggs and the roach warren to drop. You see at 3/4 of the queen, I drop my roach warren. And let's see, there's 55 seconds on a roach warren, and I believe 40 something on this. Yeah, there's 40 seconds. So basically, they're going to finish around the same exact time. Send the queen up front just in case another scout does come, or in some games the scout won't be coming until now. So the queen will be able to kill the scout before they ever get to see the roach warren back here. And basically, you want to drop a creep tumor once this breaks. As you can see, the eggs are just hatching and my roach warren is finishing up right whenever they land. So I spawn my 7 roaches, I drop a creep tumor, and then I send the queen back to the base. And now, around 150 to 200 minerals, you want to send a drone over to your natural and start your expo. This will help you get an economy lead while your opponent's being pressured early on and probably losing an economy lead as their own. And always remember to select your roaches and set them to attack move and not just the move command. That's what I'm doing right now. And for some reason, I always see that that first one is kind of a little bit up the front. I like to bring him to the back. That way they're all in a pretty evenly spaced area. So while they go on over, I'll show you what else I'm doing. You're going to have 3 larvae. What you want to do is make 2 of them drones and 1 of them overlord. That way you're going to be supply capped, but you have your overlord coming so that you're not supply blocked. Okay, and now you can continue to build. Personally, I like to drop the Evo chamber right about now. That way I can start getting my upgrades. I wasn't really paying attention, so I did lose that roach. I didn't expect there to be a bunker right here. but it's all going to be good. As you can see, he was trying to an early expo against me, which wasn't smart. He really should have walled. And this just leads me to get in there and start doing a lot of damage to him. Alright, I'm going to do ×2. Okay, now you can see him running around with his SCVs. He did have a marauder on the way, so, but that really didn't do too much. His SCVs are going to run around a little bit more. I believe he was making another, yeah, there's a second marauder. I took out that just in case. I was hoping that it would take out a lot more of his supply, but I was killing a lot of SCVs, so it really didn't help me out too much. Let's look at the units lost tab. Yeah, currently I only lost 200 resources, 300 compared to his 1200. He was real good at putting those 2 marauders right there because it really stopped me from doing too much more. Although I did kill almost all of his SCVs. As you see, he only has 2 now. But he did push me back. It makes me run all the way back to my base with one little roach left. And has anybody ever noticed how big these things are? Like, think about this in real life. These things are almost 3 times the size of a Marine. And the Marines have those big biomech suits, so they're like bigger than a normal human already. Imagine if you've seen these things in real life. That's like, it's bigger than an SUV. That'd be real scary. I did spawn 4 more roaches just in case he was going to counterattack, although I did doubt it. And I started to take out these rocks so I can begin on the 3rd. And remember that this whole time I've been droning up. This whole time I was doing the attack, I had my hotkey set to where I was droning up the whole time. Although I was focused on the attack, so I wasn't using my queens very much, which wasn't smart of me. And I did finish one attack while I was doing the attack, so now I'm going for armor. And you can see I went into swarm host. Now I want to let y'all know right now that roaches into swarm host is a very good idea simply because they go with each other. Roaches are mineral heavy and gas, and so are swarm hosts. Roaches are 75 minerals and 20 gas. Swarm hosts are 200 minerals and 100 gas. So if you're doing a build where you're using roaches, going into swarm hosts is going to be basically the same economy, which is real good. Now you see my opponent was real smart with those widow mines. I didn't even notice this first one at first until I was seeing that these were attacked, so I figured it was a widow mine. Trying to do as much damage as I can with those free units. He comes down and he starts trying to clean this up, and I'm trying to level up the playing field as much as I possibly can. Because I mean my units are already over here, so I might as well do as much damage as I can. I got my 3rd up. I have plenty of overlords and more swarm hosts coming. Got my 2nd hatchery getting fairly decently droned. And you can see I'm still doing damage with these. Only got 1 swarm host left. That roach got killed. I was trying to get him to go around and scout to see if he had a base right here, but whenever I clicked all these roaches, it selected him and told him to come back and just die. So, as you can see, unfortunately, these roaches are all about to die. So my attack did fail on the 2nd time, but I did quite a good bit of damage because he used to have a nice little marine ball. Now he doesn't. And now he has his first medevac out. This was a problem for me because as you see, he's going to drop widow mines in my base. And whenever you're a zerg playing terran, you always want to remember, go for static defense because drops can really harm you. And since he had those widow mines, I went ahead and went for mutualist. And you may be thinking, well, widow mines counter mutualist, but the widow mines are in the front. And I was almost certain that he wouldn't be really defending his economy right now, considering that he needs to defend his front from my roaches. And I know he didn't scout my base, so I figured going mutualist would really help. And as you can see, I do get a lot of his economy right there. I just go for as many spare SCV kills as I possibly can to make sure that his SCV count is much lower than my drone count. And I keep going with this. I had an overseer just in case they had widow mines, but I was looking for the little dark spot, and I didn't see any. He does get a turn up, which will slow me down, but I still go in. I'm very hard-headed, so I like to go in. I killed the SCV making that one, and I tried to go in for a few more SCV kills. Those Marines, they really messed me up. And I was not expecting that second turn, which kind of makes me believe that this is going to fail, which it ends up failing. That Widow Mine gets the last kill. And here comes a Widow Mine drop, which I'm actually happy that he did that because it only took out like 5 drones. And now I know he's going to be dropping in my base. So this is whenever I start really putting up some static defense. I go for spore. I typically do 2 spore crawlers and a spine crawler per base. One spore in front, 1 spore in back. That way I can have the detection and the spine crawler will be able to take out the Widow Mines. You see, this is how I like my setup. The 2 spore crawlers right there, and then 2 spine crawlers. Although typically you want the spine crawler 1 in the back. This spore comes up and now I can see all this. And now he sees I have a fairly decently sized army. Not to mention I'm on 3 base and soon I'm going to be working on a 4th base. And now he's probably hoping that I'm not going to attack, but seeing the opportunity, it's definitely time to go hit him. And I'm still making swarm hosts a little bit at least, because he has to have detection to fight them. And you want to make him use all his orbital energy on detection. That way he can't call down mules or the extra supply. It just really puts him at a disadvantage. And this is going to be my nice big push. As you can see with the little timing bar, it's going to be my final push. And I basically just kill him off. Mostly because not only is he at 1-1 upgrades, my mutualists are currently at 1-1. And my ground forces are at 1-1, working on 2-2. There's the GG. Well, he didn't GG, he just left the game. But as you can see, this build does really help you get wins in ladder. And I hope it does help anybody out there. And just thanks for watching.